What is good, everybody? Man, we is back again with another video, man. I missed y'all. Oh my goodness, I missed y'all, man. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? How was y'all weekend? Let me tell you this. I'm just coming back from North Carolina. Livingstone. I went to Livingstone College homecoming. It was really dope. Really dope. Look at this. Got my 40 under 40 plaque, or my award. Want to say thank you to the alumni folks out there, man. It was real dope experience, man. I enjoyed myself. It was dope. But we here to handle business, man. Jackson State versus Florida A&M. Now, I was watching this game while I was down there. I watched a lot of the games while I was down there. Listen, I ain't gonna hold you. FAMU got the ass kicked. Matter of fact, this was the worst beating they took the entire season. Even worse than how Florida Atlantic or Florida International beat them. Whoever the FBS team who they played, the Jackson State beat them worse than that. And the fact that y'all allow a Jackson State team without their starting quarterback to run the ball on y'all 56 times out of 66 plays? Dog, do you know how bad your front six, your front seven have to be to allow a team to run the ball on you? The majority, probably 95, 90% of the time they have the ball? Do you know how demoralizing it is at the team to allow a team to run the ball on you over 50 times? Mind you, this was really close in the first. This was a close game in the first half. From Jackson State's last possession in the first half to the rest of the game, boom, boom, boom. And they really took the ball out of Lockhart's hands in the second half. Outside of that one, we're going to get to it. Let's get to it. Dog, FAMU got the ass kicked. It was worse than how Central did them, and it was worse than how Alabama State did them. It was worse. This is worse.
With the repetition,
400 yards rushing
for this ball club. His consistency.
400.
Three wide receivers.
Damn, y'all got your ass kicked.
The handoff
initially. It was bad. Oh my
trying to
goodness,
run through some traffic, and that's Thad Franklin Jr. Glad to have the services of Franklin back. He got banged up last week.
And Lockhart did get that one mistake, but he got it out of the system in the first half.
To flow downhill.
But shout out to Jackson State's defense, though. Shout out to the
play
defense.
action rolling out to his right, has a man, and it's dropped in and out of the hands of Jamar Taylor. He was trying to hit him on that crossing route on the run.
Shout out
Salas on the. They've got to get to the 20-yard line in order to convert. Johnson saw the pressure, unloads, and the pass is incomplete. Goldie Lawrence was the intended target, and right there with him was KJ Chisholm.
And one of the things that surprised me on that play,
TC Taylor says he's going with the young arm.
The fact that Jackson State won this game
on the carry, Ahmad Miller
only
trying
5
to get to
completions
the outside,
the entire game.
Brought down by the Raptors.
5 completions.
Well, Ahmad Miller is a guy who
he wants, and he gets the ball down the field. The offensive line so far has done a good job of blocking and giving him time, as well as opening up lanes for these backs.
From the 30 of Florida A&M, Ahmad Miller goes to the perimeter on that outside run, picks up 6 yards.
On the ass all
in
game.
Your gaps, not giving up your gap, trying to make
the
big play.
On the ass.
On 2nd and 4, Lockhart looking for the end zone. He's flushed out using his legs, and Jared Lockhart picks up the first down and more. He's inside the red zone for the first time tonight on their opening possession. Nayron Jenkins runs him out of bounds.
And that's the good job of keeping those edges.
On the carry, there's Ahmad Miller once again. Cameron Donald in on the stop, along with Chase Lloyd. Well, Tigers looking to get on the board first. Lockhart looks, runs, keeps it himself, fumbles the football. And Jameel Gardner along with Amari Lee. And Amari Lee comes up with it. Florida A&M football. Standing in his own end zone in the A of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, and that is just
that should have been a safety, though.
Just an inch of breath on the run there.
Offset.
I thought that was
You're
safety.
5 yards deep into the end zone right now, allowing them to possibly get pushed up the field.
And R.J. Johnson keeps it himself, and again, not much room to run. Stood up by
that defense,
and met
boy.
by Reed Pulliam. Watch out for big number 6, Quincy Ivory, in white to the top of your screen. Catches it in the end zone, got to get out, barely lunging out as KJ Chisholm makes the tackle. 3 consecutive plays. 148 years in existence as Jackson State. The first play from scrimmage on this drive, and Travis Terrell goes backwards, a loss of 1 on that run. It's 4 Pro Football Hall of Famers, and obviously you know the names very well. Sweetness was one of them as Jarrett Lockhart
That's a hell of a throw.
stays alive, keeps his eyes down the field, and pass complete.
Usually see with a young quarterback.
Big chunk play, 20 yards, sets them up at the 10-yard line, back in the red zone. Let's see if the Tigers can capitalize here as Denario Davenport, who came off an excellent week's balance in this group in the 2025 version here on 2nd and goal. Travis Terrell, and he's touched by Jason Riles, the striker. Let's see what Kenwick Thompson and his defense can come up with from Florida A&M. And the pressure as in the face was Nicholas Demetrius. Ardo Beza from 24 yards out to try to get the Tigers on the board. It's up and it's through. So Jackson State breaks through the scoreboard first. They'll start this drive from their own 25-yard line. R.J. Johnson III hands it off to Thad Franklin. A piece of that face mask along that run, and a flag comes out to confirm it.
That face mask.
Volume carrier, 6'1", 225 pounds. Allow him to continue to beat up and pound on this defense.
From the 50-yard line,
Jackson
jet
State
sweep
had a lot of
there
penalties
to
in this
Kenari
game
Wilcher,
again.
and Wilcher
Like
with a
11
solid
12,
gain of about 7
10,
for
10,
8.
11, something like that.
Staff raves about their leadership,
But that didn't matter.
experience, and here on 2nd and
Defense
3,
early on.
and Thad Franklin Jr. out of Winter Park, Florida, the senior who's just so strong. He's got that great combination of balance and body control. Pickup of 8 and a first down. Haley, who we talked about in the open, who has been the spark plug the last couple of weeks, is in now. R.J. Johnson goes deep, has a man, and it gets a piece of Kenari Wilcher. Just a little confusion there, and you know Johnson wants that one back.
You might be celebrating a touchdown right now.
And 2nd and 10, good hands by Jamal Haley, and Ashton Taylor was the first to get to him. The Rattlers looking to convert. Johnson feels the pressure, steps up, and he's brought down.
And they're playing to the 2nd level. There's not going to be defenders there.
The rush by Ahmad Miller, and Miller gets out to the 10-yard. Riley goes in motion. That right side, giving a little extra girth there, and that's the way that Ahmad Miller goes. But what a defensive stop there. Good play by Antonio Kamen. So that tackle by Corey Collier Jr. sets up 3rd and 1. And the second best rushing team in FCS able to notch that 1-yard. Lockhart stepping up, the defender falls down, has a man wide open, and just overthrows Janalen Dupree. That had 6 written all over it.
One of their speed vertical receivers.
Lockhart, play action, quick Nate Rimbert. And Rimbert with his first reception of the game. Their own destiny, especially for Jackson State, wanting to stay in the hunt in the SWAC East. And they hand it off. And there's Denario Davenport. Got plenty of blocking and more.
Wait.
He's dragging Nayron Jenkins with them into Rattler territory. And what an impressive run by Denario Davenport. But
Field leading the way.
yeah, you were a lineman yourself, so you love to see the dudes up front. They give it to number 10 in white, Davenport, once again after that big 33-yard run. And this is kind of what we expected to see.
Present the challenge to you where you feel like you got to get a hat on a hat because of their ability to disrupt what you want to do offensively. And he said no. He said there's nobody on the FAMU defense that scares them from an offensive perspective. And, you know, in my 14 years of calling football games, I've never had a coach say that. So
You already said that earlier in tonight's broadcast. 3rd and 6, a big one here. Going for it deep once again. Tough throw between a couple of defenders, and Janalen Dupree unable to come up with it. Jalik Thomas was pumped up after that stop. He did travel with the team, so he is looking on. Here, Florida A&M trying to get something going. And Jamal Haley with not much room to run. There was Ja'Cory Hargan on the stop as well. Here on 2nd and 9 from the FAMU 8-yard line. R.J. Johnson, the third, has time, delivers it. Haley tries to make a move, slips, and Reed Pulliam is there to make the stop. No gain to convert their first 3rd down of the night. So far, 0 for 3. Underneath.
Nothing.
Trying to do something with it is Kanari Wilcher, and does. He's going to be short of the 1st down marker. Offense so far with 20 plays, 122 yards in this one. Want to get them some more rhythm going. They've had success on the ground, 86 yards, and they go back to that ground attack. That's Travis Terrell Jr., who doubles
his teammates to get there and make those tackles.
Right there to stick Jared Lockhart. And there's number 55, Amari Williams, who was there and coming to clean things. Ricochets, nearly intercepted. That went through a couple of iterations through the hands of the receiver.
School days. Yes, sir. See, I don't get that over there with the Martian Chiefs, so I have to enjoy it when I get it.
The handoff to Thad Franklin Jr. and a gain of about 2 on the play. But let me go back to that question of how they can take advantage of their shift from Campbell. On the snap, R.J. Johnson steps up, has plenty of room up the middle, and wisely slides, and R.J. Johnson took what the defense
drawn up.
Largest play of the game for A&M, a gain of 15. Here the handoff to Thad Franklin Jr. And nowhere to run there, maybe lost a yard. Trips receiver to the bottom of your screen. Johnson looking that way, tries to target Goldie Lawrence. It's incomplete. I was going to say that's a name we haven't called much. He had 4 catches for 95 yards last week. They need to get him in the rotation.
And there was a miss.
Well, unexpecting the snap, and the offensive line barely moved for Florida A&M. In fact, the center got pushed over. The pass incomplete.
Seen that a couple of times from Lockhart. As great as he is talent-wise, he has to continue to look at taking what the defense gives him as opposed to the big play.
Well, Davenport, who is making something happen, the cutback in Denario Davenport, who's tackled by Corey Collier Jr. Well, he gives them.
So you want to keep him inside. You cannot give up outside leverage.
Davenport slips down, and right there to tackle him is DJ Jones.
And knitting up the field and disrupting the blocking assignments of the offensive linemen.
Well, giving chase, and Lockhart avoiding the pressure from Brian Norris Jr. Still alive, and the pass caught but out of bounds by Jamil Gardner Jr.
For that, if you're Florida A&M defensively.
That was a false start.
Lockhart with plenty of time, dancing feet. Tries to get it, run out of bounds. And the tackle made on the Florida A&M sideline. And the coaching staff is 7 games deep into the season, getting a start again tonight, who has been tabbed as the guy. But this is his first year of starting college football. He was at Toledo last year, but did not play. And he was here in camp with James Colsey III and 2nd and 11. Johnson stands tall in the pocket, and you see he took a shot there when he threw it, and then some extracurricular between Jackson State and Florida. Johnson, all kinds of pressure in his face, unloads it, and the pass incomplete. The nearest receiver was Jamar Taylor. So far, Johnson 5 of 12 tonight. Is also knowing what's at stake as Jamal Haley breaks one up the middle. Haley with plenty of room inside the red zone, and Florida A&M. The jet sweep to Goldie Lawrence, trying to get some blocking. Misses a tackler as B.J. Washington not able to come up with. You see coming in close, a lot of guys in the boxes. R.J. Johnson tosses it to Jamal Haley, and right there is John Brown Jr. Big number.
And get north and south. You've got to get north and south off the initial handoff.
Pass incomplete to Jamar Taylor along that right sideline. And so last week against Southern, and tonight against Jackson State, he's able to convert on that one and through the uprights, and we're tied at 3 apiece. In that battle of the legends against Michael Vick earlier this week, Deshaun Jackson doing a wonderful job with the Hornets this year on the bubble. North Carolina Central, Ahmad Miller galloping down the left side, and Ahmad Miller, a foot race, tiptoeing down the sideline, pushed out by Andre Powell Jr., but just like that, that is the boost. The Rattlers red zone back here at Bragg. The handoff to Miller again. This time he's plugged up Cameron Donald. You talked about that interior line of Florida A&M, and they're pushing him back.
And nobody has blocked Cameron Donald all.
And first contact made up front by Justice Cross, but the extra effort there from Denario Davenport
can prevent him from falling forward.
Davenport again trying to sneak in there between the A gap, and then he's pushed back. Running alongside DeAndre Taylor. Remaining one for Jackson State, Amari Matthews. Guy they like in these types of situations, and they were expecting it the entire way. A host of green jerseys. End zone. There's the push, up and through. Ahmad Miller, who caps off with a touchdown run and some extra pushing and shoving. 41-yard line. Lockhart hands it off to Ahmad Miller, who crosses the century mark with that run right there. As Ahmad Miller, who was outstanding in that week opener, well on track if they continue to feed him the rock. Dancing, cutting back inside. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 2 as Chase Lloyd makes the tackle. Sticks at the 49-yard line.
And look for him to run behind left guard DeAndre Towns Blue. That's their bell cow on the offensive line.
It's Miller. Miller gets the space needed, and he's brought down by Nayron Jenkins, but a fresh set of downs to work with for the Tigers.
And one of the things that guards, don't allow them to get to the second level.
Again, they run it up ahead with Ahmad Miller. So a steady dose of Ahmad Miller. Pick up a 4 on the punch-in. An all-SWAC selection and All-American. Here on 2nd down. Lockhart
Open.
has the man, the step
Hell
from
of a
Rimbert.
throw.
Rimbert all by
That was a good
himself.
throw.
And Nate, I got you, my boy, Rimbert.
That was a hell of a
In
throw.
for the score,
That was a hell of a
46
throw.
yards. Yeah, do your dance, young man. Simon Naylor ready to kick it away. Kenari Wilcher on the return, and Wilcher is slung around and brought to the ground as the ball pops out. But they're going to say Wilcher was down as it appears that Wilcher is not down before the ball comes out.
But then the question is, did the officials blow it dead?
Because
that ball was out.
if they did in fact blow it dead, which I believe they did.
Further review, the play on the field has been overturned. The runner lost the ball before he went down. The ball was recovered by Jackson State. It's going to be first down, Jackson State on the 15-yard line.
I think what
In another grand position to try to add more points to the board from Florida A&M's territory inside the 20 as Ahmad Miller, the ball carrier, brought down by Brian Norris Jr. So Davenport in the backfield, he gets the handoff, runs to that left side, bounces to the outside, and he's pushed out of bounds by Jason Riles. For us, this is the time of the game that Jackson State can break it wide open if they can tack on another score. Mari Matthews trying to get a hard-earned 1 yard and is not.
some positive momentum.
I like this call by T.C. Taylor. 5 of 6 this season on 4th downs. Only need 1 yard. You're running the ball exceptionally well. And Jitsi Riley, where Denario Davenport runs it into the end zone for another score.
See a whole lot of Jackson State in this thing.
From the
too.
25
A
is
whole lot
where
of them.
Florida A&M will start their drive. And R.J. Johnson is behind a little bit, but it's still a catchable ball. It's incomplete to Miles Campbell, the tight end.
And something else to find the opening and a space to get the ball down the field. When they're getting pressure with 4, that's a problem.
Well, you see Quincy Ivey was in pursuit, but the first to get there was Mike Ashton Taylor. You see a little dance afterward. Now 3rd and 13. FAMU's yet to convert here tonight. Stands tall in the pocket, delivers the pass to Jamar Taylor, shakes the defender. Taylor stays on his feet and is brought down, but critical first down. Thad Franklin Jr. up the gut.
I think that was their only 3rd down conversion of the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Here on 2nd down. Johnson again has a man and turned around. Miles Campbell thrown out of bounds. Pass incomplete. One of the things that we
The way to make them bring more pass rushers down in the box and get man coverage.
out of the hands and into Thad Franklin Jr.'s. And a short gain on the
21 points in the 4th quarter last week. This is a FAMU defense that held this offense, you know, to 3 points.
little trickeration here as Jalen Rogers on the reverse. And Rogers with a solid gain, the collision course in the process.
You need to look to get vertical, but you've got to protect the quarterback.
Gets it out, and that's Kenari Wilcher. Wilcher scampers out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Maybe they'll spot it at. Johnson guns it and zips it over to Jordan Edwards, and Edwards 3-score deficit. Haley, who was churning his legs with not much room to run, thanks to Ashton Taylor. Oh. Bringing Wilcher in motion, quickly out. They flood it to the right side, or free up the right side. That's Jamal Haley in for the Rattlers. So he just kind of leaked out the backfield and Wins earlier today, if they can walk out of here with a win on the road. Denario Davenport, who continues to drag defenders along. He scored that touchdown on the last drive. Davenport just continues.
From your offensive lineman, take him for a ride. You want to run up in there with the big guys, you're going to get dealt with. And I love what I saw from the center on that play.
This time collapsing to the ground on the last 3 drives. And up until that touchdown from Florida A&M, they had scored 21 unanswered points. Davenport again.
And one of the things that Florida A&M was successful in doing early in the football game is covering up those linebackers. This is a big third down right here.
And just taking what's underneath the crossing route, and there is Jameel Gardner Jr. sidesteps a defender and into FAMU territory. The redshirt junior out of Detroit, North Carolina, has made the adjustments here in the second half, been aided by the ground game. They go back to Davenport, who bounces out of the a bunch, and brought down by Nayron Jenkins. Well, we know one thing holds true: yards.
Ooh.
A fumble, and who falls on top of it? The delay response from Lockhart. We saw a couple of green jerseys dive in as well. And they're going to try to sort this one out. Lockhart looking, stays downfield, a hold, and this one is going to come back as Lockhart fighting for yardage here.
And not the kind of contact you want your quarterback to take as well, putting his head down.
Miller inserted into the ball game. They hand it off to Miller, and Miller
on 3rd and 17.
On the run there as Ahmad
on 3rd and 17.
That's
ridiculous.
17.
That is crazy.
Interior
on 3rd and 17.
Defenders.
Wow.
Like, what?
1st and goal. Ahmad Miller tripped up, still fighting to get into the end zone.
On 3rd and 17.
Just
that is wild.
a half a yard short.
And right now,
back to the Cricket Celebration Bowl. 2nd and goal from the 16. The speedster, Travis Terrell, is met by Corey Collier Jr. And now 6 of 11 on 3rd downs. Lockhart with all the time in the world, finally getting loose is Demetrius. And then Lockhart just finds enough running room, steps out of bounds.
Because if he doesn't break the line and you go in attack, now you give him somewhere to go with the football.
Oh, chip shot here for Gerardo Beza from 22 yards out. It's up and it's through. And extending their lead is Jackson State.
Now, if you're the Florida Valley, if they can run the table the rest of the way, they place themselves in a position to play for that SWAC championship representing the East.
That one complete to Goldie Lawrence, but just to put a button on that, you've got as much like we've seen Delaware State and Norfolk State already do this season. R.J. Johnson III on the carry.
And a good job by John. Got to do a good job. They've got 4 pass rushers. They're showing 4. Now they drop back, 8 in the coverage, 3. He should have all the time that he needs.
Tries to fake out a defender, does so, but the great pursuit there from Carmelo Jones.
No reason he should have immediate pressure.
On 2nd and 5, a gain of a couple for Thad Franklin into the locker room. And then Jackson State's offense has exploded since. In and out of the hands of Jalen Rogers, which would have been a 1st down.
You don't need to get it all.
From their 44, got to get to the 46-yard line, and the pass is incomplete. And the defense from Jackson State holds.
They've won that side of the football with the pressure that they've been able to get with 3 and 4 pass rushers, dropping 7 and 8 back into coverage, not giving the quarterback anywhere to go with the football. Florida A&M has done a poor job of protecting their quarterback, giving them time this evening.
Meanwhile, they also just have not stopped Davenport, Ahmad Miller. This rushing attack
Like,
is
what?
Nate Rippert already with
What?
the touchdown along the right side, and he's in.
Wow. The fact that Josh
The Tigers
froze up
wide
and
receiver
it went
takes the
towards
jet
Josh's
sweep,
side,
and he's off,
crazy.
and nobody caught him.
Early. But they just kept pounding
That
and
was
pounding
crazy.
away. When the offense couldn't get anything going, I think it got away from the defense. And that allowed that Jackson State running attack to get going. But they've got pressure on the quarterback once again.
So after the holding call, 1st and 20. And Edwards with the reception. Grambling State, they want to shake that out, and they're taking it out right now on Florida A&M. And Johnson trying to move people as best as possible, but there's big Jeremiah Williams, Agent Zero in white.
In their quarterback.
That picture worth 1,000 words. Just the slight shake of the head from Colsey as play clock down to 3. The snap's off. And Johnson off and running, and Johnson gets out of bounds along that Jackson State sideline.
You've got to stop that. You've got to avoid that.
Miller on the carry again, and they're just continuing to add to their rushing total. Remember, they had 388 rush, been eating up a ton of yards on the ground. And another example in this second half. Plus, they've also gotten a number of explosive plays.
Defenders, once again, I talk about it all the time. Second level defenders are more athletic than the offensive linemen that are coming up to cover them up. But when you're an offensive lineman and you can get there and get work and get your body on top of those linebackers, not allowing them to float downhill, but because of their linemen doing their jobs.
Davenport again. I really like just kind of sits in the middle. You saw his little burst there, but he can also run between the tackles. Davenport knows how to pick up tough yards as well, but what I like about him is he doesn't stop moving those legs.
Yo, we threw the ball like 3-4 times
tough. They show contact balance
in the second half. Agents.
Travis Terrell, who's wrapped up. I'll say this, and on the West, you've got Prairie View A&M, who got their first loss of the game. But Tremaine Jackson, who has done an outstanding job with the Panthers.
And something else, what shouldn't be understated is the size of Jackson State's offensive line. 6'6", 315, 6'2", 333, 6 feet, 290.
Travis Terrell is in for the touchdown, running behind those big guys up front, clearing the way. And Terrell, the 5th different player tonight to score a touchdown for Jackson. On the return is Kanari Wilcher. Wilcher with a good running start, and Wilcher keeps on going. Wilcher with a big return across the 50, pushed out near the 40. And Kanari Wilcher for Florida State. But he's here supporting Florida A&M in their final home game at Bragg Memorial Stadium. Big Foe, give me a story about Big Foe real quick, and I'm gonna ask the other way.
Big Foe, in our basement, there's a picture of us we were playing against Georgia Tech, and there's a guy to my left, big dude, and his name was Big Foe. So I was grateful for Big Foe because he was on the left side, and he was coached high school basketball this year. But God opened his door for me. At the time, A.D. Suggs gave me an opportunity to come back to Florida A&M, which I grew up here. I was born here. All I can say is we're going to show up and compete. So I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but one of the things we're going to be is we're going to show up and compete each and every night. And I'm grateful that we have a great staff that I was able to put together in a short period of time, and also.
All right, well, that's it. That's all, folks, for that, man. Listen, shout out to Jackson State defense and the running game for holding down their quarterback, man. They really helped them win this game. And FAMU, that was horrendous in the second half. They had a horrendous second half. And when I thought they did okay defensively, keeping it close, but their offense, they didn't come to play at all. It was a lot of penalties. Jackson State had a lot of penalties that kind of helped FAMU score points and take points away from them. So, but like I said, shout out to Jackson State on getting the dub. They got Valley State next week. We'll see what they do with them. But like I said, man, shout out to JSU for keeping that number 1 spot, man.